New research has found more than 250,000 people around Australia don't have ready access to veterinary services. Concerns have been raised it'll continue to worsen in regional areas and biosecurity could suffer. Dr. Bronwyn Orr is a lecturer in animal behaviour and welfare at James Cook University and is a former president of the Australian Veterinary Association. Bronwyn, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So access to a vet is defined as being within an hour's drive. So how far do some people have to travel with their pets to see a vet?
Yeah, some people are travelling hundreds of kilometres or even, multiple hours, day and night to seek access to veterinary care. And the reason that we define inaccessibility as a 60-minute drive is for two reasons. One is that it's the golden window for trauma cases. So think about a snake bite or a dog that's been hit by a car. You really need them seen pretty much straight away. And the other reason is that's a general accepted barrier of accessibility in both human medicine and veterinary medicine. People just won't drive more than an hour to seek care for routine or even urgent things.
But the consequences, of course, of those long journeys are obvious and potentially heartbreaking.
Yeah, absolutely. And we hear cases of this all the time where people cannot get access to a vet. While we specifically looked at where vets are located around Australia and where people have to drive to get to them, the reality is it's actually much worse than 250,000 Australians because a lot of vets don't provide 24/7 care anymore. A lot of vets will only see certain species like cats or dogs. So the reality is, particularly in rural and remote communities, people are travelling very long distances to seek care, and that means that animal health and welfare is unfortunately suffering.
And why are parts of Australia so underserved for animal care?
Honestly, what it really comes down to is that the veterinary industry exists in a free market. There's not really any subsidised veterinary care, and so veterinarians have to set up in communities where they can financially support themselves. Generally, that means that towns have to have more than 2,500 people to support them, really around the 5,000 population mark. And we see that in our research. In a lot of rural, small communities, particularly in places like Queensland, rural New South Wales, there just isn't the population to support a veterinarian. And unlike in human GP clinics or pharmacies where they often get a subsidy to actually set up shop and support them there's nothing like that for the veterinary industry. So if there's not enough people, then there won't be a vet, unfortunately.
And as we said in the introduction, the situation could affect biosecurity.
Yeah, absolutely. We know that vets are the eyes and ears on the ground to detect diseases, and without having them in our communities, the very real fear is that diseases will go undetected for longer. And modelling for diseases like foot and mouth disease for cattle, if that were to come into Australia, every single day that it's delayed in terms of being picked up means tens of millions of dollars for the local industries.
And is there a shortage of vets nationally, Bronwyn?
Yeah, that's a great question. I've done extensive research into this, and what it suggests is there's actually a distribution problem. So perhaps not a raw shortage. We have more vets in Australia than ever before, and we actually have as many vets as Canada, which has 10 million more people than we do. However, we see that vets do concentrate around the towns, so around capital cities and the populated areas, and it does mean that in rural and remote communities that we just do not have the coverage there. So without innovative solutions such as perhaps telemedicine or subsidies for vets to live and work in these areas, I think this problem is actually going to keep getting worse.